What's up, everybody? Jordan McAbee here, lead NASCAR analyst for RotoBaller. We just completed the short track portion of the NASCAR schedule, and we are now moving on to Texas Motor Speedway and the Autotrader EchoPark Automotive 400. Quite a long race name this weekend, but we're heading back to the bigger tracks. You know, we just hit Bristol, we just hit Richmond, we just hit Martinsville last weekend. We're on to bigger tracks, and we're starting with Texas. Texas is a 1.5 mile track, recently repaved. It was repaved in 2017, so it's super low tire wear. And we had some dud races here recently that's kind of put a sour taste in people's mouths when it comes to Texas Motor Speedway. Whenever they hear that name, it's just, this is all for racing. That's not really the case. You have to remember, with this next-gen car, has produced some of the best racing on these 1.5 mile tracks, and that should be the case once again this weekend at Texas. There's only been 2 races with this next-gen car at Texas, 2022, 2023, both of them in the fall. We had tire issues there in 2022, which kind of plagued that race. But in last year's race in 2023 was honestly pretty good, and we should expect some more good racing here this weekend in that Autotrader EchoPark Automotive 400. When it comes to 1.5 miles, we have a nice little set of tracks that we can look at when it comes to comparing these tracks and who should be fast here and trying to get an idea for that. We raced at Las Vegas earlier this year. That gives us a good idea who has the speed this year, who should have speed again this week at Texas when we look back at Vegas. Kyle Larson had the dominant car in that race. Tyler Reddick was second fast. Probably could have won the race if he had a few more laps there at the end. Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, all very strong. Toyota showed their speed at Las Vegas. We should probably expect the same thing this weekend at Texas. But overall, comparable tracks, the most comparable track to Texas when we're looking at all of the 1.5 miles on the schedule, it's going to be Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we can go back and look at Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend, in addition to the 2 Texas races that we've had. Then you can add Kansas and Las Vegas. Those 2 are sister tracks. They wear a little bit more than Charlotte and Texas, but they are 1.5 miles. They are cookie cutter 1.5 miles. Gives us a nice little 4-track set of data to look into. And honestly, you can throw in Michigan there as well. It's a 2-mile racetrack, but it does compare decently well to Texas. So we can throw that in and get a little bit more data when it comes to who should be fast this weekend when it comes to Texas. Now, as far as the early odds, I ran my algorithm this week, the pre-practice, pre-qualifying, just to get a good idea of where that's at. I'm right there with sportsbooks, basically looking at the big 4 this weekend: Kyle Larson, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, and Denny Hamlin as the 4 main favorites. Now, Kyle Larson's more of a favorite than the other guys, but they're all right there. And Kyle Larson, rightfully so, should be the favorite for this weekend's race. Like I said, he dominated Las Vegas earlier this year. He has the best average running position on 1.5 mile tracks since the start of 2023. He's led a ridiculous 33.6% of the laps in all of those races at 1.5 mile tracks since the start of last season, and he's grabbed 20.2% of the fastest laps in those races as well. So Kyle Larson, rightfully the favorite. He's sitting there at plus 425. Not enough for me to bet him, but rightfully the favorite. Should be very fast this weekend at Texas, as should his teammate William Byron. He's sitting there at plus 700. Best average finish on 1.5 mile tracks since the start of 2023 at 5.6. He has 2 wins on them, 6 top 10 finishes in 7 races. He has the second most laps led behind his teammate Larson. And if Larson's fast, Byron's going to be too. The guy already has 3 wins to start out this year, 3 of the first 8 races. William Byron's ended up in victory lane. It would not be surprising at all if he ended up winning here at Texas once again. That team is on fire. They have speed every week. There's no reason to think that 24 Chevrolet will not be fast. We mentioned Tyler Reddick earlier. Once again, plus 700. He won here in 2022. He led 36 laps here in this in the Texas race last season, winning stage 1. 4th best average running position on 1.5 mile track since the start of 2023. 3rd best average finish on this track type over that time frame. Tyler Reddick should be a contender this weekend, just like he was at Las Vegas, along there with Kyle Larson on speed. And rounding out the top 4, we got Denny Hamlin, also at plus 700 on the betting boards. 2nd best average running position on 1.5 mile track since the start of 2023. He finished 5th here at Texas last season, ended up 8th at Las Vegas earlier this year. Should be another strong showing for Joe Gibbs Racing and Toyota overall. Reddick's going to be fast. Hamlin, Truex, the other Gibbs guys, I'm blanking right now on who that is. I have a little bit of a cold right now, so it's kind of affecting me. But yes, Gibbs should be fast. Toyota should be fast. We saw them have speed, and of course, Hendrick Motorsports is going to be fast. Now, dipping down a little bit beyond the big four, another driver that I'm eyeing this weekend, heading into the Texas race weekend, Ryan Blaney, sitting at 11-1. He's really, really good at this new Texas Motor Speedway since the repave. He finished third at Las Vegas earlier this year, 5 stage wins and 8 finishes of 8th or better in the last 10 races here at Texas since the repave. Looking at mile-and-a-half tracks overall, since the start of 2023, 5th best average running position on them. Not really thinking about betting him outright at 11-1. I'm not sure the Fords have the speed to compete with Toyotas and Chevys, but his top 10 is sitting at minus 155 on BetMGM. I haven't bet it yet, but that could be one bet that I put in, after or before practice and qualifying, because Blaney should be fast in practice, should show some good speed, and like I said, he's very good at this racetrack. So keep an eye on Ryan Blaney this weekend. Another Ford to look at, Brad Keselowski. He's sitting at 30-1 to win this race. Not interested in betting him outright, but his top 10 finish is sitting at plus 120. I actually bet it at plus 115 early on in this week when odds opened. He's popping in my algorithm this week, pre-practice, pre-qualifying, just on upside alone. If you have Fanatics, he's sitting at plus 120 for a top 10 finish. You can use that boost that they have today for the Masters, supposed to be for the Masters, but you can use it on any sport. Get that to plus 150. I really like that. He did struggle at Las Vegas, so it's kind of a minor red flag that the number 6 Ford was not as fast at Las Vegas this season a month and a half ago. But 10th best average running position on mile-and-a-half track since the start of last season, 8th best average finish on them, and he has 5 straight top 10 finishes here at Texas. So Keselowski should definitely be a solid top 10 contender this weekend, as long as they're not, lacking speed like they were at Las Vegas earlier this year. If you're looking for a long shot, take a look at Erik Jones. He's always been very good at Texas. Since this repave, over the last 10 races at Texas, he has 7 top 10 finishes. He was 6th in the 2022 race. Just like Ryan Blaney, Erik Jones just seems to have this Texas track figured out. He's always been quite good here. And again, he has that Toyota speed this year. Legacy Motor Club definitely improved over last year. If he can finish 6th in 2022, I think he was at Petty GMS before it was Legacy Motor Club, but still, they weren't a great team then. Definitely has more speed this time. Erik Jones, 80-1. Not sure I'm betting that. I'd like to get him in triple digits if I'm going to bet it. But if you're looking at a top 10 threat, maybe a top 5, Erik Jones could definitely be a guy to keep an eye on this weekend at Texas. Overall, though, looking at the betting board, there's not a lot of value early on in this week, pre-practice, pre-qualifying. A lot of stuff already got bet down. A lot of guys, myself included, are on Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 20-1 for a top 10 finish. Zane Smith, 35-1 for a top 10 finish. And those are odds that are just too long. We've seen Stenhouse. He got a top 10 at Charlotte last season. He's been a top 10 contender at these mile-and-a-halfs in this next-gen car on not a consistent basis, but a decently good basis regularly. So 20-1, just too long. Both Zane Smith and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. moved to 7-1 at most books for a top 10 finish. There's value there, I think, for Stenhouse. I'm not going to bet Zane Smith at that. But definitely, you couldn't pass up the 20-1 or the 35-1. And Zane Smith, you look back at Las Vegas, Spire Motorsports had a ton of speed. Carson Hocevar had top 15 speed. Corey LaJoie was legitimately running inside the top 10 during that race. So if you think Zane Smith has the same equipment, don't forget he hit the wall on lap 4 of that race. So we don't really know what Zane Smith has. 35-1, way too long. Zane Smith could definitely, surprise with a top 10 finish. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Is it likely? No, but it is possible. We saw him do it last year at Charlotte, filling in for Todd Gilliland in that 38 car for Front Row Motorsports. If Spire comes again with speed this weekend at Texas, Zane Smith could be a very, very deep sleeper. But like I said, there's just not a lot of value out there right now on the betting board for Texas, and that's fine. You know what? We just went through a very long stretch, about a 5-week stretch where there was a ton of value, ton of pre-practice value and post-qualifying value on these betting boards. Not a lot this weekend heading into the actual race weekend. And like I said, that's perfectly fine. Maybe there'll be some value after practice and qualifying, maybe not, but we'll see. We'll have to see how this goes, but should have a good race here at Texas Motor Speedway this weekend before heading on to Talladega next week. So Make sure you pay attention to RotoBaller, all the premium content, all the great analysis that is available for NASCAR. Make sure you check us out. Use code Jordan24. You're going to get a discount off of your subscription price, and we'll make some more money. We've been doing it, 2 months in a row now. We're gonna keep it going the rest of the year. So enjoy the race at Texas this weekend, and we'll be back next week to talk about Talladega.